Hey folks, Steve the Math Buddha here, and today we're going to be checking out the daily Calcudoku. Now the Calcudoku puzzle works very much like the Sudoku puzzle. It's a 5x5 puzzle, so we have to put the numbers 1 through 5 in each row and also in each column. But we have the additional requirement in the Calcudoku that we have to meet the instructions in the upper left corner of each section. So this section, for example, has 3 cells in it, and we see in the top left a 9 plus. That means that the 3 cells have to add to 9. Now the first thing that draws my eye in this puzzle is these differences of 3. In a 5x5 puzzle, if you have a difference of 3, you can't actually have a 3 because there's no 0 or 6. Now I do want to point out that there's no order to subtraction. This qualifies as a difference of 3, and this also qualifies as a difference of 3. But I don't know right now if this is 5 minus 2 or 4 minus 1. What I do know for sure is that there can't be any 3 up here. Likewise, there can't be any 3 over here, which means that 3 has to go down here. And we have to have a product of 15 in these 3 cells, which means that these 2 cells have to multiply out to 5. The only way to do that is with a 1 and a 5. I don't know which order though, so I'm just going to type them both in, and we'll figure it out later. Now these 2 cells have a product of 15. 3, 5 is the only way to do it. If you don't have a 15, the only way you can get a product of 15 is by using a 5 and a 3. And the 5 has to go here because we know that there's already going to be a 5 down here in this column. So the 3 would go there. Which means that up here we're going to have our 2 and our 4. Again, I don't know which order, but there has to be a 2 and a 4 up here because there's none down here. Now, what should we tackle next? Is there anything that particularly catches your eye? I myself am noticing this product of 40. In a 5x5 puzzle, if you have 3 numbers multiplying out to 40, it has to be 2, 4, 5. You need a factor of 5 in order to make a 40, and we don't have a 10, so we have to use the 5. And the balance has to multiply out to 8. 2, 4 is the only thing that's going to do that for us. And the next thing I note is that this can't be 2 plus 5, because then these would both have to be 4. So this has to be 3 plus 4. And the 3 would have to go here, because we already have a 3 in this row, which means that this has to be 4, which means that we could remove the 4 as an option down here, since we already placed it in this column. And we do need a 4 in this product, so it's going to have to go there. Next, I see that we need a 1 because we have to put a 1 somewhere in this column, which means that the balance has to sum to 8. 3, 5 is the only thing that's going to do that for us. We can't put 2 4s in the same column. And we can't put a 3 here because we already have this 3. So the 3 goes here, and the 5 goes there. Which means this is going to be a 1 and a 2, which is consistent with our quotient of 2. 2 divided by 1 is in fact 2. Now the next thing I note is this 5 in this cell means there can't be a 5 up here. So this difference can't be 5 minus 2, it has to be 4 minus 1. And we can't put the 1 here because once again we have a 1 in this row already. So the 1 goes here, and the 4 goes here, which means that this has to be a 2, and this would have to be a 4. And now we need a 5 here in order to complete this row, and a 2 here in order to complete this row, and that's consistent with this difference of 3. 5 minus 2 is in fact 3. Now this has to sum to 5, and you know what? It doesn't even matter if it has to sum to 5. I have to put a 3 somewhere in that column. And I can't put it down here because we already have this 3. So this has to be 3. And the only number we can put in this cell is a 2. It's the only thing left in that column. And that is consistent with our sum of 5. And we're almost done now. If I have a 2 here, we can't have a 2 here. So that's got to be 5, which means this has to be 2, which means this has to be 1, which means this has to be 2, which means this has to be 1, and this has to be a 4 in order to have our difference of 3. And we've already used a 1 in this row, so this has to be 5, and this has to be 1. And that completes our puzzle. I really hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun doing it. If you liked it, please like, share, and subscribe, and turn on those notifications so that you will know when future videos are coming out. And let me know in the comments, do you want to see more of this Calcudoku? I would love to do more. Let me know in the comments. But for now, it's time for me to go. This is the Math Buddha wishing you a great night and a truly pleasant tomorrow.